Welcome to Face to Face. This is a show about change and about what's next. It's a show that wants to ask questions, peel back the layers of our average everyday experience, and go beyond scratching the surface. We interview amazing people with incredible ideas and stories who have done wild, weird, and wonderful things. Remember that imagination shared creates collaboration, and collaboration creates community, and community inspires social change. I'm David Peck, and this is Face to Face. So this is part two of an interview.
It's taken a while.
Rick Campanelli back live, only 6.5 months later.
Later.
So,
different surroundings here. We're in the basement of Global TV in the ping pong room.
We had tile instead of wall-to-wall carpet. And we're in Toronto and not in Cambodia.
No geckos, no cockroaches.
No malarial-carrying mosquitoes. We're doing fine. And we've just had breakfast, and I think the last time we met, we were sipping on some sort of fruity drink. In fact, you can hear it in the background. You can hear the ice in the background.
I can see it. It's like a neon blue. Wasn't it like a different color?
It was some sort of...
it was good.
I don't know. It came with an umbrella, that's all I know.
Great bartenders over there.
Yeah. So we were in Siem Reap the last time Rick and I chatted. And coming off a trip last couple of days, visiting some... pretty at-risk communities, pretty amazing communities. We were out on motorbikes. We were fighting geckos the size of small Hyundais, I believe.
I did things.
Elantra. I think I saw one gecko the size of an Elantra.
I think you're right.
Bite your head off, man.
I did things there first time in my life that I had never done before. So thank you for that. Thank you for that stuff.
It is,
cool.
It does. Getting into another country like that can kind of push you in a way.
And being with you in a country like that could push you even further to do things that aren't in your comfort zone. But I like that. I like that a lot.
Well, listen, this is part two. It's been ages since we've chatted formally, sort of informally like this. But I wanted to talk a little bit about your background and your history as well. And we wrapped up our talk. We were chatting about the ingenuity of folks in the majority world, and the example that we had learned about that day was how rice stalk was being used as a fertilizer to grow mushrooms, and there was this brilliant sort of entrepreneurial edge to what folks were doing there.
Sure
and then you commented on this whole idea of disposable income. And that was some sort of segue, and I can't remember exactly why, but
I just talked about that again this morning, didn't I?
Yeah,
over
exactly.
breakfast.
Yeah, over breakfast this morning. But this idea that disposable income allows us access to things that probably a lot of people in many countries around the world don't have access to.
Yeah.
So we don't need to talk about that, but anymore. We can. I'm happy to.
Yeah.
But here we are sitting at global television. You're waiting to go into makeup, and I'm heading off to another meeting shortly. But I wanted to see if there's a connection there, and I know there is. You're a music guy. You're now an entertainment guy. You're out there in so many ways.
Yeah.
So much music for you, kind of Canada's MTV many years ago. Rick the Temp, your history. Anybody who wants to know more about you can find out online, I'm sure.
Can't shake that one.
You can't.
Can't shake it.
It's on your Twitter handle, isn't it? I think.
No.
Oh, okay. Isn't there?
There's another Rick the Temp out there.
Oh, you're kidding.
I think he's an American guy.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah.
There's more than one.
He works in construction. Yeah. So your music's your background.
Music. I love music.
Really, isn't it?
It is. It is a huge part of my life. It was huge growing up.
Yep.
Because I have 3 older siblings and parents that would constantly listen to music wherever we were.
Yeah.
My dad was sort of like the taxi driver of the family, taking us to our soccer games, and the music was always on. His style music,
right? Which was
the oldies. The oldies.
Like show tunes.
Not that. Well, not. It was more like the Barry Manilow's, easy listening. Bob Denver. But he was always listening to some sort of music. He was listening to Italian music. He loved music. My mom, they both still do. They listen. They love it. And then having 3 older siblings who are kind of like, cooler than your parents because they're your older siblings, and they're listening.
Not as cool as your friends, but at least cooler than your parents.
Right, yeah. and the music they were listening to was very cool.
So
Bowie and
70s or early 80s?
Yeah, this is probably late 70s.
Late 70s.
Mid to late 70s, early 80s. Yeah.
My brother, to his credit, introduced me to Simon and Garfunkel and Bob Dylan.
That's amazing.
And it is amazing, and they're a huge part of my life today. And and I love the
you probably would have discovered those
Probably, yeah.
acts at some point in your life, but having our older siblings there, our older brothers, and my older sister there, we were introduced to those artists sooner rather than...
And it's a way of relating, right?
Yeah,
I mean, music is brilliant in that way. Music has a way of leveling the playing field, I think, in some regards. I mean, you either kind of hate it or you love it, I think. It's not usually right in between.
Yeah.
So who were your...
Man, I still remember listening to The Who for the first time.
Who,
you know? Queen. I remember getting the Queen's... I got all this vinyl back in the day, of course, because that's what was in. But I remember getting The Game. It's a great Queen album with Under Pressure and all the great big hits. And, you know, before that is when Queen really stepped into the world with, you know, Bohemian Rhapsody and all those songs. But that era of the Game, probably like early 80s, you know, I was just becoming... I guess a young expert in the world of music. You know, a young, like I'm not no person from new music or an expert in that regard, but just learning this music and learning about these artists. So I was really getting into it. So that album really did it for me.
Getting into it sort of musically, or was it like, kind of a historical thing?
No, starting to pick up a guitar.
Oh, okay, so you were actually playing.
Yeah, I was trying to. I was really trying to because wanted to be like them. I remember even trying to songwrite for the first time. It was like, man, this is hard. I tried when I was like,
it's not just 3 chords in the truth. No, there's more going on than that.
It's a lot more.
Yeah, it's not
tons more.
D, A,
and I failed big time. So then I thought, I still love music. I still love listening to music, and I love what all these bands are doing. And it just grew on me, and you know, came time to work at MuchMusic, and I entered this contest to work at MuchMusic.
You got in through a contest, so it was a bit of a fluke.
Yeah, it was a fluke.
So at that point, were you a concert goer at that point? Or
huge concert goer. Huge concert goer. This whole time. I remember my parents not letting me go to see Kiss in '77 at the Gardens.
Well,
my older brothers. Yeah, I guess. I was pissed at the time, though.
Oh, I bet you were.
My brothers were going. They were showing off their tickets to be Kiss. You know, I was part of the Kiss Army. I was part of the Kiss Army when I was like 6 and 7. I wanted to be. I was big time. Wow. And I wanted to go see Kiss, and it would have been my first concert. But yeah, 7. So my brothers get home late that night. Obviously, I'm in bed, and I didn't talk to them about their experience. But the next day, they're telling me all about their experience. And my one brother's 4 years older, and my other brother's 6 years older. So they get back home and they're telling me all about how everyone dressed up like Gene Simmons.
Right.
And they were bleeding.
And
they were scared.
Oh, is that
but
right?
They're telling me these stories. It's like, yeah, that's what Gene Simmons does.
Oh, that's funny.
But I remember them sitting like in the Grays at the Gardens, like the top, the
Bobby
seats.
That's where I saw Billy Joel.
Billy Joel, yeah. I think I was there for that concert too.
Great concert, yeah.
But yeah, like going to see concerts, getting into music, I wanted to see more concerts and I wanted to hear more music. And not just certain genres, I wanted to hear all genres. I wanted to hear what was going on in the world. So,
do you think it was a combination of things? Do you think it was the music, kind of obviously you got lifestyle. Entertainment in your blood on some level, right?
I guess
now I do. I was not entertainment, performing in some way in your blood. Do you think you were, you wanted to be the rock star?
I took drama in grade 9.
Drama. Was it all part of that, or was there something else going on as well? There was something. Like for me, music has always been a bit of everything. Love the lyrics. Really been drawn to lyrics. Love the music, of course, the melodies and singing and so on. But there's something about the experience, There is.
I think when music video came around, I was put into this world of like, wow, okay, so I can see the music now, not just hear what's happening, but I can see their ideas and who they are. And I really like that moment. But yeah, no, like I never wanted to be in this game where I am today. Like I was gonna follow in my older siblings' footsteps and become a teacher. I was gonna teach. Music was always there,
Maybe a music teacher.
But it was a dream of becoming a musician or doing something in that world. But it was just a dream. So becoming a teacher seemed more like a reality because my 3 older siblings had been through a teacher's college. They were teaching whatever. I thought I was next in line.
Sure.
But then that contest, like we talked about earlier at MuchMusic, changed all that because it got me closer to the bands. It got me closer to the music. and I really wanted to be there, for those 10 years.
Are you living your life voyeuristically, sort of through the big rock stars at that point?
At that point, yeah, sure, because for sure,
yeah, I bet.
You'd be invited to their shows,
How could you not,
to the after parties and
backstage,
stuff like that.
all that stuff.
You're becoming friends with them, and you're living it. You're not the rock star, but you're a person that's been invited to live this life, even for one night or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I remember when the guys in NSYNC invited me on their tour bus to go around their tour with them for a while.
Cool.
I didn't say yes. I didn't accept it.
Oh, you didn't accept it?
I don't know what was going on in that time of my life, but that would have been really cool to go on tour with those guys, just to see how those guys lived as pop stars.
How crazy
it would have been for those guys. Yeah.
It's got to be such a weird. And talk about paradox. Anyone who's listening to this podcast, not only do we have the 6-month time delay in between our part 1 and part 2, but here we were talking about poverty in Cambodia and being at risk in beautiful country and sipping on drinks, and now we're talking about rock stars the height of excess. In most cases, right?
It's all out there in this world. I like talking about both because I'm very passionate about helping people and doing what I'm doing these days.
Do you think music had anything to do with that? I mean, clearly you've got a heart for, at the risk of sounding corny, a heart for social justice. You care about these types of initiatives. You've been on many trips over the last few years with different organizations, World Vision and so on.
No, I don't think music has anything to do with it. It's a different part of my life. I think when I see people in need, that has nothing to do with my love for music. I just see that people need help in this world, and no, music has nothing to do with that. Maybe my passion that comes from within has everything to do with it, because I am passionate about music. I am passionate about trying to help people in any way I can. So
it's almost
no
like
correlation between the
You don't think there's a correlation, but there's a fire in your belly about
that's what
life.
Yeah.
You've got a passion about life.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
Right.
And with you guys taking me to Cambodia and other organizations taking me to these places all around the world that are so less fortunate than us, like I'm so honored to been given the chance to see this firsthand for myself. I come back and I tell the stories, but I really wish that more people out there could go out and see what we've seen.
It kind of changes it, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah.
Like you see stories on TV, but it just doesn't give you the same.
There's nothing
kick,
quite like the smelling it and feeling it, and you got
and
the
actually
temperature.
living it
You're kind of
while
living
you're
it.
there,
It's a little detached,
It
I
is,
suppose, because
it
you're
is,
in your
yeah.
hotel with your swimming pool.
Sure,
but
sure.
still, you are in the middle of it in a way, like on the bikes, riding the motorbikes through the couple of the communities, and that one farmer that you met, that guy had a bit of. I remember. That's right. Part 1. I forgot about this, but we were talking about rice.
Yes.
And how simple this white thing on our plates was.
I know.
And yet the work that went into thrashing and harvesting rice.
Unbelievable.
And how the lives of so many people around the world depend completely on subsistence agriculture. That's all they do.
That's it.
They are doing
They get up in the
agriculture
morning
to live, not to make money, but just to live.
To survive.
And there's not that there's anything wrong with that and right with what we're doing, but it's
but I think more people need to see
they
that.
do. Yeah, totally right.
Like a lot of people are so ignorant to what's going on around the world. They're living their lives. They have to do what they have to do to survive. But these people and what they're dealing with and what they're going through, it's like I wish people could just understand it and grasp it a bit more.
Yeah. You've met a lot of people over the years in your interviews. 10 years now at ET.
10 years at ET Canada.
This year?
10 years at MuchMusic.
What anniversary gift did they give you at ET?
It won't be 10 years until September. We'll see. I don't know if this is going to air before that, but
I'm not sure. I think it probably
we might
will.
do a part 3 with telling you what I got from as a gift. But I did get this just the other day.
Ooh. An ET sticker or iPhone?
This is an ET iPhone case.
Wow, pretty impressive.
So that's nice, right?
Not bad for 10
I didn't have
years
that 2 weeks
your
ago.
life. A $40 gift. I think I'd rather have a watch, right?
It's probably $20.
Probably $20.
No, whatever. If people want to give me things because I've put so much time and effort into something and making things work and succeed, fine.
Sure.
If not, fine as well.
So you got to go. You got to hit makeup shortly. Thanks again for.
I know we keep saying that, but it's. I know we've talked about how people are struggling in the world, and now we're talking about how I have to go into makeup to make my face look better.
But I think I think it's kind of a good way to kind of end in a sense, because I mean we do have to live our lives, right? We've got families, we have bills to pay, we have jobs, we have books to write, and things to do. And the question I think, that, and I think we've kind of answered it. Let's get people on the ground. How do you get others to think more about others? Is it more TV ads? Is it better news? Is it better journalism? Et cetera.
I think you could do all that stuff, but if it doesn't come from within that person wanting to help out on the ground level to begin with, ads and other things that we say, it's a tough uphill battle. I think there's got to be something in that person that wants to help.
We're both young dads, and I think getting them, the Disney model, getting them when they're young, start planting those seeds. And I love the fact when my kids notice things that I wouldn't have thought they would have normally noticed.
It's cool.
Others, how can we help, etc.
And we have young kids, and when they're noticing that stuff at that young age,
it's what gives me hope, right?
Yeah,
it's gotta. You got to be hopeful about what's next.
I'm so glad I'm a dad now, for sure.
What is next for you? Do you know?
In terms of my career?
Yeah, any directing, writing?
No, nothing.
You gonna star any big movies coming up? No.
Iron
Man 4.
I do like doing some acting. I've been doing a little bit more of that.
Oh, cool. Fun.
Little parts here and there. I find that fun. I find that interesting.
Yeah.
I do want to continue just talking to people and interviewing people.
That's great.
I want to do that until I'm 6 feet under one day. That's what I love.
Well, you do it very
well.
That's for sure.
Whether it's Keira Knightley or someone who I just talked to recently, like a big name star, or just anyone about their lives and what they're going through. I just like that. I think I'm going to do that forever.
Maybe
so
what
no
we
big
need
plans.
to, what we should have done, which we didn't do. Next time we get you into Cambodia, or next time I get you into Cambodia, we'll put you behind a camera or in front of a camera, and get you to interview some folks while you're over there. Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
I mean, we never even.
Well,
really
we did a little bit of that.
I guess we did.
We
do a
talked
bit
to
of that.
the
That's true.
Asian outreach guys about what they were doing.
That's
there.
true. We did do a little bit.
There's always more.
There's always more, and wouldn't it be interesting if we went in with a bit more focus, a bit more intention?
Yeah.
Listen, thanks a bundle.
No,
and
Dave, are you kidding?
Can't
It's my
wait to
pleasure.
see you in Phnom Penh again.
Yeah.
And,
you've introduced me to that world over there.
Oh, that's awesome.
In Asia, I just love it. I can't wait to go back. I know you're going back soon, but
Hoping to go back
I'm
soon.
jealous. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Well, listen, thank you again, and
I look forward to a part 3.
Me too.
No, and I'm serious. In part 4, and it's endless, right?
Part 3. Let's do it back in country.
Yes, but please air this before that.
Oh yeah, no, this is going here real soon. Real soon. Thanks, Rick.
My pleasure.